Hi guys, happy Witchy Wednesday. I made it. Alright, so I've been looking through my psychology book just a little bit more for you guys to help you kind of just easier to Ouija. I'm glad that you guys got your packages. I'm very happy that you guys are happy with your packages. That makes me happy. And so very happy with the work that we've done yesterday with La Santísima Muerte. She's really helping a lot of people. Burning up. So, alright, learning by association. So, let's get into this just a little bit. So, okay, so much learning takes place with the process of association. So, the facts about it are simple. We simply associate one experience with another experience that is already familiar to us. So that would be if you had if somebody had a bad Ouija session and they told you about it, and then their mother's cat's friend's aunt's bird died. There you go. That's by association. That's how Zozo came up. That's how he got created. So hearing a new word is an experience, and seeing an object is another experience. So bring these two together and we have learning by association. Not always good. So the baby sees a ball on the floor and hears her mother say ball. So she already knows from experience what that round object is, which she now hears referred to as a ball. Because the word has now become associated with the thing, the baby learns to think of the thing when she hears the word. So everything that we do and we put into our sessions, all of our words, not our words, but words, prayers, everything that we put, like our objects, when we create our atmosphere for a Ouija session, that is what we are doing. So those stimuli will trigger, again, certain things in your brain psychologically, and then you get your result for what you are wanting. So by such incidents as these, we gradually acquire the meaning of more and more words. So we learn more and more expressions. We found out what things are. We discover what animals do. We gain more and more ideas. One association is built on another association until we have formed a vast network of related facts and ideas. So this process of learning by association is a very important part of education. Important part. So that is why we put all this stuff around our boards. This is why we have the symbolism, so it triggers our subconscious to go through our consciousness, and voila, we have a Ouija session. And Nicholas, you're amazing that you did your session and you got results. The mannerisms of your friend, you're associating it right there. So, okay, then there's learning by conditioning. So one important form of learning by association is called conditioning. And that is what is basically going on with Ouija. People are conditioned to think it's evil. So, conditioning is simply the process of linking up some new stimulus with any stimulus for which we already have a certain response. We say that a person is conditioned to have a feeling of patriotism when he hears the national anthem. That is because the person loves his country. He has a warm feeling when he thinks about it. Over a period of time, he hears the national anthem on patriotic occasions, and the anthem and his feelings become connected, so he responds to the stimulus of the anthem as he would to thinking about his country. So, that's, oopsie-doopsie-doo. Yes, so that is kind of the explanation of all these negative things about the board. That's how we pretty much process that. So you hear something bad, you get conditioned to think it's bad, and then it goes on. So I thought this was pretty cool though. So, alright. So virtually all modern theories of learning by conditioning are based on the work of I.P. Pavlov. The following is an account of the basic process Pavlov designed. So, for centuries before the psychologist I.P. Pavlov published his findings regarding the conditioning response, philosophers had theorized that learning is influenced by associations. So, however, Pavlov based his conclusions on psychological experiments. While studying the operation of the digestive system of the dog, Pavlov observed that digestive juices, which he had assumed were called forth by the presence of undigested food, actually began to flow when the dog heard the footsteps of the experimenter bringing the food. So, that helps us a lot with Ouija. So, Pavlov's findings led to his setting up an experiment in which he measured the flow of the dog's saliva in response to various stimuli. So, in a classic experiment, he first placed meat powder in the dog's mouth with the result that saliva flowed at an increased rate. So, Pavlov called this automatic response the unconditioned reflex. So, the sounding of a bell in the presence of the dog caused no increase in the flow of saliva. However, after a number of trials in which the bell was sounded just before the powdered meat was placed on the dog's tongue, or in the dog's mouth, the sound of the bell alone was significant to cause an increased saliva flow. Link that with the Ouija. Link all this with the Ouija. So Pavlov called this connection between the bell and the increased rate of salivation a conditioned reflex. So termed a conditioned reflex, a conditioned response by psychologists. And he called the sound of a bell a conditioned stimulus. Make sense? I think it does. So, the principle involved here is that when stimulus A produces a response, stimulus A produces response X. When stimulus B occurs with A after a while, stimulus B alone will be significant to produce the response. So, very good. So, very, very good with association. That's what we do with association, with all of these different candles and all these different items that we do, that we use. Perfect. So, now, the importance of practice. This is where this comes in. So, while some things we learn are fixed in our minds by a single experience, most of them must be established by repetition. The repeated experience fixes a certain response to a certain stimulus. Otherwise, we may fail to make a well-established response or association, and our attention goes to something else. So, practice or repetition is therefore one of the most important things in learning. Everyone knows that unless a football player practices, he can't be very good at the game. So this is the reasoning for the reenactment with the Ouija, to get you conditioned to stimulus and hence channel. So in the same way, we must use words if they are really to be familiar to us. And if we are to know and understand them, we must use arithmetic and work at it repeatedly if we want to learn it. So, there we go. Psychologists have found by experiments that repetition or drill is essential in learning, but they have also found out something else. They have found that the practice of the drill must have a purpose behind it. You have to be actually working at it. When you practice to get results, merely going over something again and again is not enough. So, you actually have to practice and you actually have to learn from that. So, overlearning. Now, this is my problem. Overlearning makes learning more impermanent in memorizing when that is necessary. So, it is a good idea to go over whatever it is you are learning several times. These extra repetitions produce what is called overlearning. The thing being learned is studied or gone over beyond the point necessary to learn or repeat it once. When this is done, provided effort is put into it, the material will be learned and much better remembered, and much better and remembered longer. So, the trouble is that few people put in this extra effort, this additional practice. The wise student, keeping this in mind, will read over his or her notes more than once and will find the time to read the material again, to go over it another time. He or she will apply the principle that repetition or practice, drill is, as it is often called, it is a must for efficient learning. Professional golfers who win tournaments know this and work at their game constantly. So, doing more and learning. So this all goes back to the heart breath, practicing that, practicing the relaxation meditation, practicing the relaxation meditation, doing our reenactments, finding different objects and things to bring to our sessions, prayers, coming up with our own prayers of prose, that sort of thing. So doing more and learning more. So when we do much the same thing day after day, we do not change much, and we do not learn more. Becoming a well-informed person depends a great deal on what we do with our time. So if you take a trip to New York City and gaze with a passing interest at the scenery, you will learn something about the city. But if you take greater advantage of this situation, you will learn more. So perhaps you could plan your trip as to visit the historical monuments in the parks, the Museum of Modern Art, Rockefeller Center, the United Nations, etc. Then your visit to New York will be a greater learning experience. By doing more, making an effort and being attentive to situations you encounter, you will be learning more and enjoying it more. So many significant inventions have resulted because people have been observant of their surroundings. The manufacture and installation of money-changing machines came about because someone noticed how many people were having trouble finding change to use in coin-operated machines and dispensaries. So, I like this. Self-service, moderated machines, self-service merchandising came about because some people noticed how time-consuming and inefficient the old system of clerks waiting on customers had become. All sorts of labor-saving machinery originated in a similar fashion. So in order to encourage inventiveness, many industries have rewards for suggestions and invite their employees to be observant of ways to make improvements. So, that does all tie into the Ouija. I'm so happy I found this book. I'm so happy because it is literally huge and it's great. So, we have that, learning by association, we have conditioning, and then the importance of practice. So, keep practicing. Keep practicing. Okay, now we have words and symbols and learning. So we're going to go in just a little bit about the words and the symbols. So we have, like, say for instance, we have the sun, we have the moon, we have the two bottom people with little spirit behind her head on the board, I think. Yes. All of the elements and symbolism that we use are sigils, everything, pentacles, pentagrams, all of it. So, most of our learning, which goes beyond merely forming habits or learning skills, such as we use in making a bed or riding a bicycle, makes it necessary for us to learn words, definitions, principles, numbers, formulas, or symbols. So, it is very necessary that these words or symbols be understood clearly from the beginning. We have been pointing out that learning is largely a matter of associating things in our mind. Interesting. So it is important to get the meanings clear. This process of association can be on a firm or shaky basis. So it doesn't matter, it does matter if you're on a firm or shaky basis, but a firm basis, which meaning you already have a spiritual practice, is just that much better. So, and you guys have your spiritual practice already. So if students get the right association at the beginning and then repeat and practice it, they will learn well. Students should therefore make sure that they understand the meaning of words and symbols, and they should work with their friends and teachers until these meanings are perfectly clear. So, when you guys automatic write, have you had any symbols come up? Have you guys been seeing symbols or any kind of just words popping into your head when you're meditating or doing any of these exercises? Maybe. So, since words are so important in learning and thinking, students would build up a good vocabulary, so it is wise to write down new words on cards with their meanings and go over them from time to time until they have become the property of the person learning them. That is pretty much how we do sigil magic. We write it on the piece of paper, the card, we look at it until it's memorized and it's soaked up into our pineal gland, our third eye. It goes into our subconscious, and then it's there. And then we can use it. So when we think of that, then it triggers that stimuli in the subconscious coming out of the conscious. So, yes, I love this. So, alright. Okay, so this practice in understanding what words mean, learning how to spell them, becoming able to recognize them quickly is so important in learning that each student should pay considerable attention to it. Many textbooks list the new words included in each lesson. This part of the lesson should get a good deal of attention because the words are framework of the subject, the tools of the student. So think about everything that I have taught you guys, all of our lessons that we've gone through, everything that we've done, our sigils, everything. So, where'd I go? Okay, there are other important ways in which words play a significant role in learning. They are conditioned stimuli that greatly influence our behavior, meaning words have power. How amazing is that? So, okay, so they influence certain ideas and thought processes. They have an important bearing on our values and attitudes. So, that words reinforce behavior recognized by many psychologists. By the use of certain words, we reinforce our own behavior and stimulate others. One writer points out that the whole motivational system of reinforcers that functions for an individual or group can be experienced to be heavily built on classical conditioning procedures involving language. Thus, just attaching a name or a label or a descriptive adjective to a stimulus will bring a process of thinking to bear. So, that's how the Ouija is conditioned. That is how people are conditioned to think that you're going to get possessed or it's evil or all of this negativity surrounding the board. That is how we get through it. That's how we get rid of it. So, we use its own technique. So the use of the term enemy is a really good example. By attaching the word enemy to any group and using this term in newspapers and TV broadcasters, we are conditioned to hostility toward that group. We are profoundly affected in our attitudes in this way. So in the United States, the term communist has been used in a similar manner. So we are also influenced or conditioned our own behavior by the use of words. So that is why we have our opening prayers. We always, our mantras, everything positive about the board. So, the individual may perform an action and then say to himself that what he has done is dangerous, unworthy, silly, degenerate, illegal, and so on, and thereby punish and decrease the strength of that behavior. Or controversially, he may say such words positively reinforce and strengthen future occurrences of the behavior. A significant aspect of human motivation may be found in this analysis. So, makes sense? So we have psychology to back us up. A lot of what we do. So as to other kinds of symbols and slogans, they also play an important role in what we do. Sports fans and athletes raise their index finger to signal that they think their team is number one. Wearing ribbons of different colors has been associated with support of various causes. For example, pink in support of breast cancer research and red in support of the AIDS research. So during the civil rights movement of the 1960s, the slogan and song "We Shall Overcome" acquired the significance as unifying and motivating symbol. Clothes designers spend a lot of money developing eye-catching logos to put on their products, so consumers can readily identify with them. So we can see from these examples that symbols and slogans have a lot of weight. So they can be employed in areas for more significant than might appear in the simpler kinds of learning situations. So meanwhile, make a conscious effort to increase your vocabulary. For the reason, who really knows something also knows how to say it. So, lots of good stuff in here. Lots of good stuff. So yes, there's so much in here, it's crazy. So I'm going to leave it at that. If I can find a bookmark for this one. Maybe, hopefully. Ooh, a tattoo. Where did I get this? Oh, my name, Ryan Adams, Marvel tattoo. So we'll leave it at that. So that is the importance of association, our prayers, our wording, all of that. That is why we have the sigils and symbols that we do. That is why we incorporate them into the Ouija. That is why we incorporate them into magic. And it's, I mean, really, it is it's very scientific. I can see so many, like, parallels between psychology, witchcraft, Ouija, spiritism, mediumship, the spiritualist movement, all of it. For me, it just combines. There's no just giant space between. I mean, it is. I can just see it just combined very nicely together, and it works very well together. Whew. I am very hot. I feel weird today. I feel sick, actually. I don't feel that well. So, how are we doing? I know, Nick, I know you had a very good session, and you contacted one of your best friends? And the mannerisms that they showed through the board, the slang, the language, right there, that is what that just talked about. You linked that together. You had his energy, just a fraction of his energy with you. So, I mean, literally just by the law of attraction, the law of magnetism, not the secret, not that. This is in the Kabbalion, the law of magnetism. So what you think about by law must come back to you. So your intention is to call your friend on the board, which you did. You did everything right. You did the heart breath. You did it all, and you had an amazing session. I'm blown away. I love it. I am so happy for you. Mallory, I know you already have great sessions already. So hopefully, a little bit of this can help just boost them, amp it up, make them better. That was funny. So that is why I find it so important to use sigils, sigil magic, candle magic, the stimuli. That is why I have, and plus it looks cool for me. To me personally, it looks really cool. So that is why I am just surrounded by Ouija, everything. So it all stimulates the brain, my brain. And it puts me into that almost all day. I am always in a spiritual state. Almost. So, it's nice. It's very nice. So that's why we do the gemstones, and that's why we learn their associations, and especially with the tarot cards. So, that is a big thing. The symbolism of the tarot cards, since arcana is literally like archive. An archive, that's what arcana means. I was really studying the tarot last night, and it's literally related to Tara, the goddess, and tarot. And from what I understood from this was tarot is the book of the goddess. So it just lays out patterns of nature, all that good stuff. So we can really put that to use. We can really put what we just heard about conditioned learning, about repetition and practice. We have to practice repeatedly to condition our brains to actually Ouija. So we are really reprogramming our brains to learn to Ouija and all of this. So I thought it's amazing. I love it. So I'm very big into psychology, obviously. So. Alright, I did create quite a few more of the rhodolites. It's garnet, a classified garnet rhodolite. So I did more rhodolite and goldstone jewelry, bracelets. They're stretchy, so they fit. And this one actually has a tassel on it from India. So, and that is everything that we learned about rhodolite. So that is just one of them. I still have yet to put these in the shop. So this one's really nice. What did I use? I used little beads, little silver beads in between. So that one, I love that one. So you guys have seen the feather one already, I think. So I have a lot of these, just to make sure. So we have a little, oh, that's a leaf. A little leaf. Many different colors of rhodolite. Many different colors. So I love that one. I love all of them. And then we have the pentagram one. And this one actually has a lot more. Well, it's pretty much all the same. Very, very good stretch. So we have rhodolite. We have this goldstone. The sparkles are amazing. I don't know if you guys can see the sparkles, but I love them. They're amazing. Alright, and then the last one was the heart with the Swarovski crystals at the very bottom. So that is the other one. So far I just got 4 made. One for myself. And I will be putting those up in the shop, because since we've all learned about rhodolite, I mean, it's seriously incredible. And then I incorporated, I had an idea. So, since, well, I don't know what this has to do with anything, but it just popped into my head. So since, I don't know, makeup came from the Egyptians. Makeup came from the Egyptians. I don't know why I just said that, but it did. Where did that even come from? That was the most strangest thing. So, but what I thought was to incorporate copper healing with the rhodolite, with the goldstone, and with all the other types of stones. So, kind of funky. It is kind of funky, but it's moldable. So you can actually mold it. So what I did, yeah, I love it. I love the copper. I love how the copper wire just kind of, it stays. It just kind of stays. But I mean, as you wear it, it will get, you know, loose, more loose. So that one does have just a kind of a Middle Eastern look to it at the top, with the Middle Eastern colored beads, the greens, and a little bit of gold to go along with the tassel from India. Then going up, we have hematite beads. Going up, we have an amber colored bead. And then we have right here, we have more rhodolite. Going up, we have kind of a reddish, darker amber red. And then we have more rhodolite. Going up, we have more of a lighter amber. And then we have a goldstone right here. Going up, we have more hematite beads. These ones. And then we have the rhodolite at the top with these cute little, I love these little things, these little ball chains. So I incorporated all of that with copper wiring. So that was pretty difficult to do. That took me quite a while to actually get this right. So I will be putting that up in the shop. So hopefully that is just something really well that'll work, that will amp up, because I believe copper amps up all of the stones. So I'm not sure. So yes, lots of rhodolite and lots of goldstone going on. I still have to get more bottles. I think I will just send you guys a couple of my dram bottles for the Egyptian love oil, and just all the stuff like the self-love, yeah, just for self-love and all of that good stuff. So hopefully that works. And yes, I think it will work. I really do think it'll work. So yes, I just want you guys to keep practicing, practice. Condition the brain. So writing your journal, going back. I'm really glad that you like the journal. There is actually room in those journals now for to record your experiences. So I'm very pleased with how that turned out. I'm very happy. What else? I'm on to the next book. I will be on to the next book. It's going. Excuse me. So yes, very happy. Phew. So hopefully all this, yes, hopefully it just all comes together and it just pans out to be incredibly amazing, which I'm really hoping for. So the documentary is definitely going to happen. I'm going to have to do it myself, which I will do. So yes, very, very happy. I still want to do the Ouija Pup t-shirt. I still have got to try to figure out how to fund that. So I will do that myself. I don't feel right asking. So I'm going to do that one by myself. And Lou, I'm very, very happy. If I could get more of these made, the Ouija Pup pendants, it's like a bottle cap. Very pop art. I love it. I love it. It's everything. It's just so cute. I love it, Ouija Pup. So that gives me hope. This gives me hope that Ouija Pup is alive and will stay alive. So little pendants like that, all kinds of stuff. So stimulus. So yes, I think it's going to be very great. Orders will be going out tomorrow. I have a few I have to alter. I don't like how they turned out, so I'm going to fix them. And I think that is about it. So just keep doing the meditations, the heart breath. Keep trying the reenactment. I don't think a lot of you need to do the reenactment. I think you guys already have it in you. It's the self-confidence, it's the boosting, and the Rhodolite will do that. So the Ouija Boot Campers, you will be getting those. So I have my books coming too now. So I did order more, so they will be coming. So you guys will get revised editions of Ouija Pup, and you will get A Witch's Journey. So, and I'm really glad that you guys already got your packages. So Mallory, I just need to hear from you, my darling. Ooh. Felt something. That was weird. Not funny. So yes, everything is going really well, so let's just pray it stays that way. But, alright guys, I have therapy today. It's just, mind, it screws with your mind so much sometimes. It's like, God, just, yeah, you guys know. So, alright, I have a few other ideas in my mind for you guys, for Ouija Pop, Ouija Group, or Ouija Boot Camp. Thunder. Damn it. So, alright guys, just keep practicing. Keep practicing. Repeat it. Repetition. Repetition is good. So, I will see you all tomorrow. Yes. Oh, really funny thing last night. If you guys check out my public page, facebook.com/RyanOccultSpecialist, the incense on La Santísima Muerte's altar last night went out 20 minutes before I started to just film that little clip. I filmed that little clip, and the incense started to go. So it could be a technicality or whatever, that there was a little piece of like coal or hotness going on in there. But I just found it a very, very cool coincidence, and yes, that helped. So that was a very important part of yesterday's work with the Ouija, all of that. Whoever recommended the light copal, I did it, done it. Thank you. I love those suggestions. So yes, I will be giving you, Catherine, all of her prayers and everything that you need, and I will be creating your protective pouch. So I will be sending that to you. And my Ouija Boot Campers, you guys will be getting a lot more packages. So, alright guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. And I love you all very much. I don't want to go to therapy. I'm over. I'm so tired of it. All the way from Venus, all the way back down. So, alright guys. Everybody have a good day. Try to. And I will see you all tomorrow. So, alright guys, I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.